Well, it's that time of year again, folks. That's right, it's the Christmas movie season once again. It's that time of year when folks like you and me bundle up and venture out into the cold, go see some Christmas movies, maybe do a little Christmas shopping. And who better to guide us into this joyful season than the Commander himself? Take it away, Commander.
Thank you, Bing. Thank you for that kind introduction. Thank you, and welcome, everyone. Welcome to my first Christmas movie review of the year, and I'll be looking at the brand new film out in theaters now, entitled The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. Was it the best ever? Stay tuned for the review and see. Plus, I'm going to be doing some merch search. Now, I don't expect there to be any merchandise being released tied directly into this film, so instead I decided I would just do a merch search looking for Christmas merchandise, since that's hitting the shelves now anyway. But I wanted to focus on Christmas merchandise tying into movies and TV and pop culture in general, that sort of thing. So let's take a look at some of that merchandise right now. Okay, we're starting at Target, and here we have some Elf-branded Goldfish crackers, maple syrup graham goldfish. And here's an action figure, a Joker, Christmas-themed Joker action figure. Very neat, 12-inch figure. And here's a plush Grogu from Star Wars, Mandalorian. And he's wearing this lovely little Christmas sweater, or perhaps we should say Life Day sweater, since that's what they have in Star Wars. Okay, here's a Christmas Barbie. And here's another Christmas Barbie. Right here. Having seen the Barbie movie, I believe these are both Barbie. And these are some Disney Princess bag clips in Christmas-themed packaging here. They're blind bags, so you get one of these you see on the back, but you don't know which one till you buy it. And here's a Lego Santa's sleigh. Very cool. And here's another Lego Christmas item. It's a Lego snowman. And here are some Grinch inflatables. Target exclusives. A Grinch one and a Max one. Nice to see the Grinch's dog Max getting some love. And here's some Grinch ornaments, some Grinch gift tags, and a Grinch hat. And here we'll see some Elf and Minions wrapping paper, as well as some Jack Skellington Nightmare Before Christmas wrapping paper. Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers, Disney Princess, and an assortment here of Grinch-themed wrapping paper. It's a wide variety of Grinch items. And here's a Jack Skellington gift bag, and a Grogu gift bag, and a Spider-Man gift bag. And back to some wrapping paper here. We have some Stitch wrapping paper, some Mickey Mouse and Friends wrapping paper as well. And here we have Paw Patrol, if you have some young ones that are into that. And we have some Spidey and his amazing friends. And hiding in there is a DC Justice League wrapping paper. And here's a Mandalorian Grogu wrapping paper. And one additional Grinch wrapping paper. And here's a Bob Ross tree ornament, so you can have a happy little tree. And here's a set of small tree ornaments based on the Grinch. And here's a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation ornament set. And Bluey ornaments. Here's Peppa Pig and Coco Melon Christmas ornaments. Let me turn that one around for you. Okay, and here's some candy, some Christmas candy. And this is a pop-ups based on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And here's Frosty the Snowman. A couple of those Rankin Bass classics. And here's a Minnie Mouse as well. And some Pez dispensers. We're seeing some more Barbie now. And there's even more varieties of Barbie Pez dispensers here, as you can see. There's 2. Here's the third variety. And here's number 4. If you happen to be a Barbie collector and a Pez collector, you've hit the jackpot. And here we have some nice plushes, sort of a pillowy kind of plushes. Sonic the Hedgehog right here. Stitch. Very nice. We have a Winnie the Pooh. All of these dressed for Christmas in some way. Here's a Pikachu from Pokemon. This one was much larger than the others. And here's a Mickey Mouse. And there's Minnie. Okay, over in the clothing section, here we have an elf t-shirt saying Raised by Elves. On a rack with some more clothes here. Here's a elf Christmas sweater. And behind the elf sweaters is a Grinch sweater. And speaking of the Grinch, here's some pajama sets. Child-sized pajama sets featuring the Grinch. And here's some children's books of Christmas stories, The Polar Express, Christmas at Hogwarts from J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter story, and the classic How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. And to wrap up Target, we had this end cap full of advent calendars. There was Sonic the Hedgehog, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pokemon, and here's some Lego advent calendars. There's a Star Wars one, Marvel one, Disney one, and another variety of Star Wars. Now over at a PetSmart, I happened to be at a PetSmart and see some costumes for small animals, Christmassy and based on movies and TV. There was a Grinch, a Mickey Mouse, Frosty the Snowman, and Elf. And I found actually another display of them, Christmas sweaters for animals. There was Kermit the Frog, Frosty the Snowman, the Grinch. There's a Christmas Story, Lamb Chop, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Winnie the Pooh, and Snoopy in Woodstock as well. Now at a Big Lots, I found these popcorn tins, Peanuts, Elf and Mickey Mouse and Friends. And they had some Christmas sweaters. These were Grinch sweaters saying Merry Grinchmas. They also had the wall of just gift set items. Here they had a Barbie gift set and a Peanuts Charlie Brown hot sauce gift set. And a Mickey Mouse movie night gift set, Mickey and Minnie. Those two weren't specifically Christmas branded, but I'll count them. And here's some Christmas branded Snoopy mugs with hot cocoa mix. And here's some candy branded to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And also a surprise box themed to Mario. Here's some more pet toys. Here's a Snoopy and Woodstock pet toy and a Grinch pet toy. Okay, and here are some yard ornaments and other decorations. There's a whole end cap here of Grinch, Nightmare Before Christmas, Rudolph. And here's a Grinch life-size animated figure. Very interesting. And here's some plushes. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Snoopy hanging Christmas lights, and a Grinch in his sleigh plush. Pretty cute. And finally, here is a Minion plush in a Christmas sweater. And I guess that about does it for our merch search. So I think it's time for us to move on to the movie, which is the best Christmas pageant ever.
I beg to differ.
Oh, Mr. Grinch, welcome. What brings you here today?
I'm here to correct a little misstatement. You see, every Who down in Whoville, the small and the tall, knows that the Grinch's annual Whoville Christmas pageant is the greatest Christmas pageant of all.
Oh, so you're doing a Christmas pageant in Whoville for the Who's now. That's wonderful.
Yes, but you see, I am not in today's movie. So how could today's movie possibly be about the greatest Christmas pageant ever?
Oh, I see. Well, I'm not going to presume to argue with the Grinch.
A very wise policy.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but Whoville, it exists entirely within a snowflake, am I right?
Yes?
Well, that means for my viewers, here in the macroscopic world, the entire town of Whoville is no bigger than a speck of dust. In fact, they'd need ears the size of an elephant to even be able to hear a Who. So my viewers would never have the opportunity to experience an authentic Grinch Whoville Christmas pageant. The Christmas pageant in today's movie may just be the best they can do.
Why, I hadn't thought of that. Those poor people. Christmas is the time to remember the less fortunate. I apologize. Merry Christmas to you, everyone.
And Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Grinch. By the way, if you like what you see and would like to help this channel to grow, then go and click that subscribe button. It'll sure help me out a lot, and it might just brighten your day a little too. And now, on with the show. The best Christmas pageant ever is a new Christmas movie from Lionsgate in theaters now. The movie is based on a popular book of the same name and was previously adapted as a stage play and a TV movie. This is the first time it's appeared on the silver screen. The story is set sometime in the past in a small town called Emmanuel and is told from the perspective of Beth, one of the children who lives in Emmanuel. Beth as an adult can be heard in voiceover as the narrator. She begins her story by introducing us to the Herdmans. The Herdmans are a group of 6 notoriously poorly behaved siblings that strike fear into the hearts of Emmanuel's children and adults alike. Beth lists their offenses in a montage, some of which include smoking cigars, shoplifting, stealing lunches, starting fights, and lighting fires. Beth then goes on to relay how Mrs. Armstrong, who usually organizes the annual Christmas pageant at the local church, had an accident that left her with 2 broken legs. Beth's mother, Grace, volunteers to direct the pageant in place of Mrs. Armstrong. The next Sunday, Grace meets with the Sunday school children at the church to announce that she is looking for children to be in this year's pageant. Coincidentally, that same day, the Herdmans show up to attend Sunday school for the first time, having learned that the church offers free snacks after Sunday services. When Imogene, the eldest Herdman, and de facto leader of the Herdman clan, hears this, she asks Beth to explain what a pageant means. Beth describes it like a movie, but it's performed in front of people. Since sneaking into movies is one of the Herdman's favorite pastimes, Imogene's interest is piqued. During the following week at school, Imogene spreads the word that she and her brothers and sister will be playing all the main parts in the Christmas pageant, so all the other kids better not volunteer for those parts, or else. With no other volunteers, Grace casts the Herdmans as Mary, Joseph, the 3 wise men, and the angel, much to the chagrin of many parents. The other children agree to take part as shepherds and choir members. At the first meeting to plan the pageant, Grace learns that the Herdmans have never heard the Christmas story before, so she decides that, instead of planning, she will dedicate the first meeting to reading the story. The Herdmans are far from quiet listeners and interrupt frequently to loudly voice their opinions on the details. They get quite invested in the story of a baby being born in a stable to bring love and salvation to everyone. This also reminds Grace that Jesus was born not just for her and her family, but for all the world, including the Herdmans. She resolves to connect with the Herdmans and make the pageant work with them involved, going out on a limb for them, amidst pressure from some of the parents to kick the Herdmans out. Will Grace be able to work with the unruly Herdmans to pull it off? Will it all end in disaster, as the entire town predicts? Or is Grace right? Will it in fact turn out to be the best Christmas pageant ever? When I first heard that this movie was about unruly children taking over a Christmas pageant, my first thought was that the movie would be a comedy along the lines of Home Alone. Upon seeing that the movie was narrated by the adult voice of one of the children, I thought it would be more like A Christmas Story. I was wrong on both counts. Despite being similar to a few other Christmas classics, this movie does its own thing, giving it a feel all its own. It doesn't go for the slapstick humor of Home Alone, or the wit and nostalgia of A Christmas Story. It creates its own sweet, sentimental, and heartwarming flavor, like the movie equivalent of a mug of hot cocoa on a snowy day. The film kept its tone light throughout, and kept the story simple. Yet it still managed to touch some deep emotions in the audience and communicate something profound, but definitely beautiful. And by beautiful, I mean moved to tears beautiful. So, bring tissues. I was particularly impressed with the performance of Beatrice Schneider, the young actress playing Imogene Herdman. Much of the movie's impact depends on the audience's perception of the Herdmans, a perception that is meant to change over the course of the movie as we see more and more hints about the reality of life for the Herdman family. As the face of the Herdmans, Imogene's character is crucial for influencing the audience's perception. She is depicted as a character who is not used to expressing herself. She is shown as a bully, but she also has dialogue that gives clues that she is something more. It's the non-verbal acting that sells this idea to the audience. Schneider does an excellent job with non-verbal moments, especially for such a young actress. I particularly like the scene she shared with Judy Greer as Grace in front of a painting of the Virgin Mary. I found The Best Christmas Pageant Ever to be a great way to kick off the Christmas season this year. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I can easily see myself making this movie an annual Christmas tradition. I highly recommend this movie for anyone looking for a good Christmas movie this season. If you love Christmas, or there's any part of you that does, I think you'll like this movie. As you make holiday plans to drop in on the Griswolds, the Baileys, the Cratchits, and the Van Pelts this Christmas, consider paying a visit to the Herdmans too.